support the idea of forming our own police force. So I think, you know, it's important to make sure that we have a majority of council members who oppose this bill before we like dig our heels in and oppose it with all of our might, because I've warmed to, I mean, when the chief officer of the organization says that she supports this bill, it's hard for us, in my opinion, to say that, well, we know better than she does. So
I had an easier time with the initial idea that she couldn't be the CEO of both. I don't like the idea of the government telling me that we can't.
There's that. I mean, I think if anything, it proves the point that we said all along, like having one person who's also the sheriff be the figurehead of UPD is problematic, because what is tying that person to the direction of the board? And the board was clear that they wanted to oppose this bill, and that person who stands as the CEO of the organization doesn't. So why should we?
30 seconds, 60 seconds.
I'm just going to be really brief. I will tell you that the mayor, through this entire process, has been, he's worked overtime. He's been really good about communication, which is usually where we fail. He's been very proactive. And even when I ran into him at, I don't even know when it was, but he said, one of the last things he said to me was, I need a nap. And and yet like an hour later, I saw him at the Q&A, the second Q&A, where he was answering the majority of the questions that these officers had, not the sheriff. And I've had several officers come to me and very, very sincerely express their appreciation for his time and service. So more symbolic than anything else, Mayor, I brought you a 4-hour coin. This coin is when an officer does a really good job, they get 4 hours off with pay, and he's not getting paid, but this man has done some great work in support of UPD and in support of the UPD board in particular, and above and beyond for sure. So this is symbolic, but from my heart, I appreciate everything you've done. And I know this has been tough. It's a tough road to even watch happen, where a single city can freight train. And it really offends me when they say dissolve UPD, because we can certainly restructure. And I think there are several options where economy of scale and service can provide better police service than a single entity could for their city. It just makes sense. So that's all I have to say tonight, but this is so you can take a 4-hour nap when you get a chance.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Pretty fancy. Thanks, G. All right, we ready? Yeah. Okay. Do this again. It is 6:36. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us in the snow of the night. Rory, sorry. Please stand with me and repeat the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Rory, will you call roll?
Yes, Councilmember Robinson. Here. Gettle.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Sperry. Not sure if he's here yet.
I think he
Glover?
said 7.
Here.
Yes, I think he can start at 7.
Okay, thank you. All right, for tonight, because we do have nasty weather out there and we're trying to be as quick as possible, we are gonna skip over the Unified Police Department report tonight, and we've also rescheduled the Boys and Girls Club report. They have been rescheduled, I believe, for March 21st, so a month from now. So moving on to public comments. Any person wishing to comment on any item not otherwise scheduled for a public hearing on the agenda tonight may address the city council at this time by stepping to the microphone and stating their name for the record. Do we have any public comments? Okay, seeing none, moving on to My report, just a reminder for everybody to be safe out there and have patience with our city as we've got some dedicated employees out there plowing and who will be nonstop. With that, I'll move on to council reports. Councilmember Sperry is not on yet. Okay, Councilmember Gettle.
Thank you, Mayor. Really briefly, I said what I wanted to say about Unified Police Department. I support our officers here in the community. They've done wonderful work. It's just such a terrible position for elected officials to be in when you're being pulled from both angles from other elected officials who, as the chief said, use words like dissolve, like, no, we're not going to dissolve hundreds of police officers. They're still going to live here in Midvale and surrounding cities, and hopefully they'll continue to work here as well. I just also wanted to get a quick shout out to our public works folks who are going to be working extra hard over the next few days, and UPD as well, who are going to be out there helping in concert. So everyone stay safe, and hopefully we can get out of here quickly. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Brown.
Yeah, I just want to echo, I guess, both of Dustin or Councilman Gettle's points. I don't have much to add. Those are great. And I do want Kate to know that I've kept Bruce Willis in my thoughts over the last few days. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Robinson.
Can we talk more about that for a second?
I have nothing tonight. Thank you.
Councilmember Glover.
I'd just like to say, as far as the unified police, that what bothers me the most is the state of Utah can come in and tell us how to run our police departments. That gets me more than anything. It's like, granted, we've been trying really hard to make unified work properly, but I just dislike it when they try to tell us how we should run our own system. So as far as separating from the sheriff, I don't have a problem with that part of it. What I really have a problem is them telling us that how we're supposed to run our police. That's all for the evening.
Thank you, Councilman. And just for anybody online, we just had I just gave a lengthy update on this process with House Bill 374, which would dissolve the unified police department. So this is where there are comments about that. Okay, moving on to city manager report. Matt.
Yeah, just really quickly, sometimes with when we have snowstorms like this, we hear it's going to be really bad, and in the morning it ends up not being very much. I think this one is probably going to be a thing now, and so we had not given direction to staff to for a late start, but I think since it's materializing, I think that's probably where we're going to end up. A lot of other organizations have started to do that as well, so I'm just giving you a heads up, and we'll be communicating with staff that I think we will be opening. I haven't determined the time yet, but we'll have a late open. I just decided that. Nate, are we good? Good. Okay. Glenn, does that make sense? Okay. All right. I just don't want to do like we're not going to do it, and then it ends up like there's not enough stuff.
I just don't know why you ask Glenn when his folks will be out all night long. So,
well, he's usually the one who says some version of like don't work. I was going to do an edited version of that. Thanks, Glenn. Glad you stayed. Thanks for being here. Yeah, with that, that's all I have to report.
okay. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Just one item, consider minutes of February 7, 2023. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Rory, will you call roll?
Councilmember Glover,
Aye.
Robinson. Aye. Brown
Yes.
and Gettle.
Yes.
Okay, that passes. Thank you. All right, we've got a couple action items. The first one, consider resolution number 2023 R09, amending the budgets of the general fund, capital projects fund, water fund, sewer fund, fleet fund, and information technology fund for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2023. I'd like to ask that we table this item and we can pick it up at another council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Can anybody tell me if that should be an all in favor or a roll call?
This one could be an all in favor.
Great. All in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that item is tabled. Item B, authorization for Mayor Stevenson to sign a letter of support for the 2023 Raise Grant application. Hear from Vendeline.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. I hope you can see the presentation.
We can.
Okay, perfect. This is a pretty simple item. The city was invited to participate in a statewide grant application to the federal government. This grant would provide us with funding for active transportation projects. And you have all of that in your materials. The projects that we have as part of this application are on Center Street, then a bicycle, pedestrian and bicycle connection at the Fort Union track station south to Maple Street, a buffered bike lane on Main Street, 700 West Holden Street, all the way from the Murray city boundary to Center Street, and then also a buffered bike lane on Cottonwood Street. As I had written in the staff report, this is a really great opportunity for the city. The state of Utah has done something like this before, where they have pooled several cities and helped the cities with an application for federal funding. The last time was 9 years ago. Also, the projects that we have were vetted through the regional planning process, and the way they are situated, it's really ideal because they would give us a spine of an active transportation network that enables our citizens to just use the network, for recreational purposes, but also especially for transportation. It also connects nicely with projects that we are already working on, like our canal trail study and that work we have done. The grant is structured in a way where the federal government, if it's approved, would give us 80% and would rely on the city for a local match of 20%. And overall, the city would contribute $1.2 million. The federal government would contribute $6 million. And we have already looked, there are plenty of local funding opportunities as well through UDOT, the state of Utah, and also possibly Salt Lake County to decrease our local match. We have about 3 years until we have to have the local match ready. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help you.
Thank you, Vendeline.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very supportive of this personally. I think that this would be something great for us to participate in with a lot of great projects that come out of this. Just curious, if by chance we couldn't get other grants to pay for the 1.2 million, couldn't come up with that funding for any reason after submitting this, what would happen?
We would basically have a black eye, I guess, but no one would come and, try to make us participate in this. So in that sense, it's a good faith obligation that, we are saying, we really want to follow through on this. one thing that I should maybe also stress is that federal grants are quite complex, and just applying for a federal grant is very time consuming. 99% of that work has been done, especially by UDOT and WFRC. And, we are really the beneficiary of that.
Thank you. Any questions for Vendeline from the council?
Just one, if we get the grant, when do we start getting funding?
So the funding that we would receive would come in September of 2026.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Just one other question. So we're clearly the 4 projects we're putting forward in this grant application. Let's say inflationary costs keep going up and what we think we can get with 6 million is actually less. Does this provide us the flexibility to drop off when let's say we did the first 3, but we ran out of funds. We could no longer afford the Cottonwood Street buffered bike lane, just as an example. Is this something that we can do in this process, is shift in that way if there are unexpected costs?
One thing we could do is look for additional local grants. We haven't explored this, WFRC is really the organization that has coached us on this. We haven't really explored that, if that's possible. But my understanding is that it would be better to not go that direction, just because it causes problems, with, I guess, our credibility, but also the credibility of, the state as a whole, since this is an application that, was put forward really in behalf of the entire state.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other questions or comments, is there a motion to approve this item?
Mayor, I move to authorize Mayor Stevenson to sign a letter of support for the 2023 RAISE grant application.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, Rory, will you call roll?
Yes, Councilmember Robinson. Yes. Brown,
Yes.
Gettle,
Yes.
and Glover.
Aye.
All right, that carries. Thank you. Moving on to action item C, consider approval of final subdivision plat for 2-lot split located at 653 West 3rd Ave in the single family residential to SF2 zone. And we're going to hear from Elizabeth Arnold on this.
Okay, so this is for a fairly straightforward final subdivision. This is not far from City Hall, just right around the corner there. So this is just for a 2-lot split over on 3rd Ave. In front of you is their final plat, which was also included in your summary report. The Planning Commission did hear this and does recommend approval, and we have not received any objections to the project. And our recommended motion remains the same as included in your report.
Thank you, Liz. Any comments or questions from the council?
Could you, just for the record, I know it's in our packet, but can you describe this project, what's going to go there, that sort of thing?
Yes, so it is a 2-lot split. There's an existing dwelling on, I think it's remaining there on 653. The developers are planning to keep the existing house and then just subdivide the remaining kind of vacant portion of the lot, and eventually that will be developed also as a single family home. And the developer, I believe, is also on through Zoom and is available to speak.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other comments, questions from council? Okay, with that, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, I move that we approve the final subdivision located at 653 West Third Avenue with the findings and conditions noted in the staff report.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Rory, we call roll?
Yes, Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Gettle,
Yes.
Glover,
Aye.
and Robinson. Aye.
Okay, our discussion item, discussion of audit services agreement with Larson and Company PC. This is another item I am going to request to table. Is there a motion to table?
Mayor, I move that we table discussion item A.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries and it's tabled. We do not have any closed session, so with that, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And a second, all in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna jump right into our RDA meeting. It's 6:54. Welcome, everyone. Rory, will you call roll for our RDA meeting?
Board Member Gettle,
Here.
Barry, Brown,
Yes.
Robinson.
Here.
And Glover.
Here.
Thank you. All right, any person wishing to comment on any item not otherwise scheduled for a public hearing on the agenda tonight may address the redevelopment agency of the Midvale City Board at this point by stepping to the microphone and giving their name for the record. Do we have any public comments? Seeing none, we're gonna move on to our consent agenda. Consider just one item, consider minutes of January 17th, 2022. Is there a motion to approve our consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Rory, we call roll.
Board Member Gettle.
Yes.
Glover,
Aye.
Robinson. Aye. And Brown.
Yes.
Okay, that carries. Thank you. Just one action item, consider resolution number 2023-02 RDA selecting a logo for future branding and marketing efforts for the Main Street area. Again, we will table this for tonight. I would entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
Second.
A motion as second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries.
So happy right now.
Motion, is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor,
Second.
please say aye.
Second.
Aye.
We're